Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode on No, but seriously, let me explain. Hosted by the beautiful, intelligent Earth Angel Lala Davi. This podcast was designed to provide detailed business advice, next level resources, personal credit tips, and relatable relationship knowledge. Be sure to bookmark this page and subscribe because we wouldn't want you to miss any valuable content. And if you're struggling with poor credit, don't even worry about it. Just text Help My Credit to 507-400-3426. That's 507-400-3426. We have live agents standing by to cater to all your service requests. And now that that's out the way, let's make room for what the host has to say. La Davi, do your thing, girl.
Welcome to No, but seriously, let me explain. The phenomenal podcast series that will keep you fully engaged with all of the tips and tricks that you need in order to be successful, while giving you lots and lots of flavor. I am your host, Lala Davi, and today we will discuss your mental space. Yes. Are you ready to change your perception on a few things? No, but seriously, let me explain. Can you teach your body emotionally what the future will feel like before it actually happens in reality? Are you capable of changing the programming that you have believed over the years? If you practice living in the moment without trying to predict the future, of course, you can reverse the mental mindset of going into a situation with failure on the brain. Whether it has been business or personal, we have all second-guessed ourselves and questioned things that may seem too good to be true. Yes, we have all done this, of course. However, as individuals, we have been known to hold on to bad memories. And these poor visual images of things that really causes us pain or invokes negative thoughts tends to be the problem. You don't want to romance any of these sweet failures or low value thoughts from your past relations or negative energy or bad intentions at all. If you learn to work with your body so much to the point where it begins to feel safe, like for example, you're going around telling yourself that you're safe, move your feet, start walking, look both ways for cars. Like these are all things that are natural functions that we no longer have to focus on because we've already mastered this aspect of life. Like we no longer have to tell ourselves to move our feet and actually think about it. I'm talking about actually working with your heart muscles a little bit more. Listen up. Like if you're learning to feel love before it actually happens, then practicing feeling the love before actually giving it, then you can change your view on the concept of love itself. When you're giving it or when you're not giving it, I know it may sound crazy in the beginning, but that's only because you've already been hypnotized into believing that fear is more powerful than love. But if you don't let that go over your head too much, you'll understand what I'm talking about. When you're feeling frustration or you're feeling impatient or resentment, fear, disgust, anger, your heart is becoming incoherent because the energy is leaving your heart. Then what naturally happens is disbelief because that energy has been disrupted. So picture driving a vehicle with both feet on the gas pedal and the other one on the brake. And this is exactly what your body is doing when you're filling your mind up with anger, frustration, anxiety, fear, resentment, impatience, all these things. Like all these examples are just altered states of consciousness, like survival mode. Like your body goes into instant survival mode when you're in these constant emotional states of imbalance. It's constantly leaving you out of balance. Like I've learned to control my fear and my anxiety and my emotions so much to the point where other people's bad behavior doesn't change how I feel Like, I allow people to be exactly who they are without judgment or without any negative reactions to their actions or behaviors. Let me give you an example. Say you're driving on an expressway and someone immediately cuts you off. Most people, of course, they're going to cuss them out, flip them off, blow the horn, if not all three. People that are constantly in a state of anger all the time are often thinking revengeful tactics just to satisfy their level of satisfaction. Look at how social media affects our behavior. Social media and other media outlets has been an influence on certain attitudes and behaviors, whether we choose to admit it or not. The social media platforms are known to influence people either directly or indirectly. Like, for an example, this might include sexualized images or content on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Different people posting things, females feeling as though they may need to keep up with all the sexy ladies that are posting, all the women with the bad bodies, like they got BBLs, these tummies, fat tummies, like they trying to keep up with what is shown on Instagram, what the celebrities are looking like. Natural bodies are still competing against this. Then you may also see some violent videos, coarse language in video games, and certain song lyrics. All of this is a certain kind of media influence that can suggest certain ways of behaving or looking so that we feel normal. Just like there are hidden messages and subliminals hidden and stored away inside of our movies that we watch. We tend to go to the movies for entertainment, maybe to get away from the reality of our world just for a few moments. Then we escape that reality and enter into something like a twilight zone, if you will. Some of people say it's an adventure to go, or they go and see a romance, something like that. But is it possible that someone is trying to tell you something in these movies, in these hidden subliminal messages that we receive? Is there some type of full disclosure being made on the silver screen? Are you aware, or have you just been oblivious to that message? Following movie reviews on certain movies like The Wizard of Oz and The Matrix, they presented certain things that allow us to understand what has happened and what to understand. Like, take for instance, The Wizard of Oz. There was a code in the movie, the coded movie of what really happened to America. And this was written by Robert Kelly. Just to read a little bit about the information that he wrote. Just as you can read between the glory lines in the newspaper on any given day in America, you can discover clues and truths slipped in the powers that be. If you look hard enough as to what is actually going on, such as, notice, it can be found in somewhat of a lighter fare in the movies, of course. As you well know, movies have been the international pastime of entertainment. Millions go through the movies, such as the VHS tapes to the DVDs, and then you just fill in the gaps from there. The storyline topics and the time frames vary as to the manuscript and the version of the directions and the directors. Such movie was The Wizard of Oz, an allegory for the new state of affairs in America in the 1930s, following the stock market crash and the factual bankruptcy of the United States government immediately after that. The Wizard of Oz is a movie, and it's just not a movie for children. Through the perceived today America, and how it's become nationally an icon of historical nature, replayed every year on television just for the children. What is missed by most people is the symbolism of the movie in almost every character and aspect of the set and so-called special effects and the props back then. After reading this article and then seeing the movie again, it will give you a different look on how things happen and for your children. The setting was in Kansas, which was the heartland of America, the geographical center of the U.S. Then comes in twister form, which was the tornado, which was whirling confusion of the stock market crash that left everybody economically dizzy. It signified that the theory of America's goal, the common USA bankruptcy, the Great Depression, it was the tornado that whisked Dorothy away and Toto up into the new and artificial dreamlike dimension somewhere above solid ground of Kansas, of course. This is when Dorothy wakes up and she finds herself in the land of Oz. Dorothy, she actually comments to a little bit of her companion, her Toto. She was like, I feel like we're not in Kansas anymore. When she was saying this to Toto, this was right after the bankruptcy. Kansas was no longer just plain old Kansas. It is now KS, an artificial corporate venue of the bankrupt U.S., the United States, the newly established federal territory, part of the federal zone. And now Dorothy and Toto, they're now in this state on their journey in this unfamiliar land. Dorothy meets up with 3 unusual characters, each having certain different problems as you speak. So she met up with, you remember the Tin Man. She met up with him, the Straw Man. She met up with him, of course, but their true identity was decoded. And it follows just like this. Listen up. The first man that Dorothy met was the Scarecrow. He was a man made of straw, and he identified as the Straw Man for Dorothy. Some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, and of course, I'm not bright about doing things. This is what he would constantly say, and he also had a song that he would sing just to let you know that he didn't have a brain. And in this song, he said, if I only had a brain, he'll unravel every riddle. And it went on, like I don't remember all the lyrics to the song, but there's definitely hidden meanings and messages in that song and in that movie with the Scarecrow as you follow along. And the Scarecrow wasn't the only person that Dorothy encountered. The second person that she came in contact with was the Tin Man, Tin Man, also identified to us as taxpayer identification number. That's what we consider the Tin Man to be in layman's terms and regular everyday life, not on cartoon form. However, in this movie, the Tin Man, he was a hollow man of metal. He was a vessel, a vehicle, if you will. He was newly created just to operate with the Straw Man. So just like the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, he had no brain and he had no heart. Both of these characters, they were artificial people in the movie. The heartless Tin Man also carried an axe, the traditional symbol for God. In modern commercial law and early dominant civilizations, including certain states, in the words of the Tin Man, he was expressing relief after Dorothy had oiled his rusty points and the parts that he had rusted, in which he's held that axe up for ages. The third character that Dorothy met was the coward lion, or the king of beasts, as we know. And as the most feared of all animals in the jungle, this lion, he was lacking courage. The lion is a symbolic symbol of the once fearless American people who recently lost their courage. Yes, there are a lot of hot talkers out there. Just listen to your local radio stations. American men love to talk, but none have the courage to do a damn thing. The American people, they were scared. They were scared of the corporate federal system and the local venues and i.e., internal revenue. They were scared of the local revenue collectors, the cops, the judges, and the so-called courtrooms of justice. They was afraid. So after the first few go-arounds with the just us system, believing there was justice in the courts, you probably lost some of your courage too. So this is what the lion represented in this movie. After Dorothy and her 3 companions made their way to Oz, they had to return and learn that they had to go see the wizard. To find the wizard, they had to follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. When Dorothy and her friends, her companions, they came from the forest, they was elated to see that they found the Emerald City just right before them in a very short distance. Then you saw the Wicked Witch of the West, desperate for the ruby slippers that Dorothy was wearing, and they held special powers. In regards to the color choice, the ruby red slippers, the red color, it signified the color of blood, as in flesh and blood, and symbolized living, breathing man, woman at the time, such as a non-corporate, non-artificial entity. When you're reviewing your Social Security card, it has a red serial number on the reverse side, signifying a private side, a bond account attached to the public side of your straw man, your Social Security account. And for postal employees, the red sticker registered mail means personal accountability. It's private. All other mail carriers limited liability, such as public mail. It's very likely to say that the ruby slippers symbolize the American people with blood in their veins, as opposed to the citizens of the United States, which was the straw men with the counterfeit and corporate blood. No matter the color in the movie, the Wicked Witch of the West wanted those slippers at any cost and had to move fast in order for her to beat Dorothy and the crew to make it to Emerald City. The witch had a tactic to cover the countryside with pretty flowers, poppies, the source of heroin, morphine, and other drugs, symbolizing that she was drugging them, the American people, into an unconscious state, then just to waltz in and snatch the slippers off. In other words, the best way to make this happen to the American people and boost the goods was to dull their senses by getting them hooked on drugs. The same year this movie was released, LSD was created by Dr. Albert Hoffman. Even though the drugs worked on Dorothy the lion and Toto, all of our flesh and blood friends, and had no effect on the Scarecrow or the Tin Man, the artificial intelligence characters or the artificial entities that was created, the two of them, they cried out for help. And Glinda, the good witch of the North, she answered their prayers with a blanket of snow, aka cocaine, a stimulant nullifying the narcotic effect of the poppies and the opium that Dorothy and the lion and Toto was drugged on. So Dorothy and her 3 companions, they finally made their way back to the Emerald City. They sought out for an audience before meeting the wizard, and they was taken inside to the wizard, which was a gigantic image speaking in a loud voice behind this glass. It was similar to like a smoke and mirror screen. Dorothy and the gang, they definitely fell for the wizard's illusions, the power and commands in the beginning. But it was little Toto who was, by his instinct, he pulled back the curtain and he exposed the fraud of the wizard, a front man. He was this front man wizard, an agent for the fiction. This wizard had the people all feared. The wizard in this gigantic image, he was speaking in a loud voice behind this glass, and it could be very well symbolized as a event of a television personnel, like the power of the government speaking lies before the people via TV. Because if the people saw it on TV, it must be true. And of course, the people will believe their government, won't they? Remember the drugs? But Dorothy and the others, they soon wised up and they revealed the wizard for what he really was, a confidence man. Then he was asking the agent, the administrative agencies, about helping the scarecrow, which was the straw man, about getting a brain. He gave the straw man a piece of paper and a diploma from a university. He gave the tin man a ticker, which was a clock, to sound like a heart, but it was not. And to the lion, he gave him a medal to signify that the lion had courage. All these things, of course, they were just little trinkets in the land of Oz, a fictional world, of course. So my question to you is, will you continue to be conned into thinking that the confidence man and believing that the wizard's words coming out of the box of smoke and mirror is called the TV? Or will you continue to wise up like Dorothy did and look behind the scenes just to recognize the scheme? We're going to go to the phones now and take a live call. In all seriousness, if you're out on the road and a driver comes and cuts you off from 2 lanes over, what is your natural reaction? Are you blowing the horn, flipping them off? What you gonna do?
Honestly, my natural reaction is probably to have the facial expression of someone who is appalled at the audacity of this driver. Like, truth be told, this is something that happens pretty often in Dallas, which is where I currently live. And also, I pray that they made peace with God. Because obviously, they don't give a fuck about the value. They don't value their life enough to be a safe driver. Like, everyone knows that the golden rule of driving is to drive for yourself and drive for those around you. That's it.
Do you feel as though social media outlets and television have the capabilities of influencing our young adults?
Social media outlets and television definitely have the capabilities of influencing our young adults. And this influence is so strong that many of us really do underestimate the power of the media. Like, a lot of people are fixated on the fact that they weren't as easily influenced by it. So it shouldn't be a problem for the people today. But the problem with that is the media of yesterday isn't exactly the media of today. Because this influence is only going to get stronger as time progresses. And the access that we have to media makes it so easy to be influenced by it, whether it's a subtle influence or a major one.
Do you think that it is possible to train yourself ahead of time to react in a positive way before reacting in a negative way?
Well, I can't exactly say for sure if there's a way to train one to react in a positive way before a negative way. I mean, personally speaking, I've made it my mission in life to be as positive as I can in all aspects of life. So reacting in the heat of the moment is one of the times that I'm actually tested. Because I've had so many years of concentrating and focusing on the positives, like borderline monk status, I'm usually okay. Everyone has walked a different road in life, and sometimes these experiences do affect our ability to willingly accept something or to willingly change how we react to things. Let's be honest. People try to train people on jobs the same way, but everybody learns at their own pace. Everybody picks up things at their own speed. I don't necessarily think that there is a blueprint or a right or wrong way to accomplish this, but I do feel like there may be a way, but I don't have the answer. I don't even know what worked for me.
Have you ever had a moment where you popped off on somebody, then you had to think about it?
To be perfectly honest with you, I've never had a moment that I popped off on someone and had to think about it, because I am a person who's very slow to anger. Like, I am so slow to anger, it should be a crime. Like, honestly, looking back, I don't think I've ever been angry at anyone before. No, I can't say that I have. And there's not a lot of people that can actually say that.
All right, you're definitely a first, because I can think of so many people that's pissed me all the way off. Like, I'm thinking of people right now that has pissed me off last week. Like, yes, I just cannot. But moving along to the next question. Name one thing somebody could do to you right now that would just set you off.
Well, I don't think there's anything in the world that anyone could do that would set me off. Again, as I previously stated, I am very slow to anger. So the level that people will get to where it will make people set them off, that would probably be the level that would probably just begin to make me show my angry side. So I don't really know if there's anything that would make me pop off. I'm not very materialistic, so I can't think of anything that you can like damage, destroy, steal, or anything of that nature, because I feel like all material things can be replaced.
If you will, state your name and where you're calling from so we can find you and shout you out on live.
Of course. My name is the Honorable Mr. Murray, and I am calling from Dallas, Texas.
Awesome. Thanks so much for calling. Honorable, whatever you just said. Call us up now, 770-765-7551. 770-765-7551, and we will answer your calls live on air. Are you ready to challenge your own pre-programmed beliefs? Are you willing to start giving love before you even receive it? You have always had the right and the power to reclaim your strength. You just forgot, or maybe you was never taught that you had this power. However, will you continue to be a product of your environment, allowing television and the media outlets to program your thoughts and control your emotions? No one provided us with the manual when we entered this world, yet we've all managed to learn as we go. Similar to how Dorothy found her way home, meaning that she had a remedy in the end. There is no way that we're going to continue to be blinded by the misbelief that's constantly put in front of us. There is a way for us all. It's just disguised and camouflaged. And it's up to us to rise above the occasion and obtain the knowledge that we need in order to get out of any situation that is unpleasant. We have come to a very short commercial break paid for by our lovely sponsors. So don't go anywhere. We will be back after this message.
Yeah, what up, ATL? Look, you ballin', you bad and bougie with bad credit. That's most of y'all. Well, look, man, that's why y'all need to call my people at Exchange Credit Repair. That's right, Exchange Credit Repair will help you scrub them inquiries, get rid of them collections and bankruptcy. They'll even take child support off. I didn't even know they put child support on credit. Woo-wee! and boost your credit score. Let's get that credit score where you want so you can go get what you want. And if you mention Streets 945, you get a 35% discount. Hein? So call my people right now at 678-420-5553, 678-420-5553, or visit my people at exchangecreditrepair.info. Exchange Credit Repair is a credit counseling business with experienced credit repair experts standing by to assist you right now. When I made this deal with them, I said, look here, you ain't got to pay me for the commercial. Just put my credit score where I want so I can go get what I want. When I went to them, they treated me like family. My privacy was all the way respected. They quick to fight for a client's right with the Bureau of Credit, creditors, and debt collectors. Conveniently located at 1 West Court Square in Decatur. Tell them Shouty sent you.
As we have come to the end of the show, I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Don't hesitate to leave any comments or questions or any feedback that you might have at www.goasklala.com. The floor is always open for you, all of my incredible listeners. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss out on any of the new and exciting content coming your way. I would like to send much love and give big thanks for tuning into No, But Seriously. Let me explain. I am your host, Lala Dive, that got all the sauce. Of course, I will see you next week because I got more show for you. Until then, stay bold, beautiful, and brilliant. Love ya.